If you could only improve one area of your life for the rest of your life, what would you do? To me, this question always felt impossible to answer because I felt like I was lacking direction. I was missing the bigger picture. There were so many things I wanted to do, so many things I thought about. How could I ever choose only one? To understand this, let me tell you my story. When I came to the US, I think it was already 11 years ago, I knew literally zero English. I went to first grade and I was like, yo, what do I say? I needed to get like someone to translate for me, someone who also spoke Russian, because I came from Ukraine, the eastern part where they spoke Russian, so I only spoke Russian. And that was basically the case until third grade. And the only reason that I actually started speaking English in third grade is because I read books. And I mean, I read books. I read a lot of books. If you don't believe me, well, let's say when I went to Rome on vacation, I had a little Kindle that I kept with me to read books. And as we were walking through Rome, I was literally reading the Kindle. My parents literally joke about like asking me when we came back, how did you enjoy Rome? And me saying like, we went to Rome? So like the joke is that I was reading books so much I didn't even like realize that where we were. So basically I read a lot of books. And the books I mainly read were stuff like Percy Jackson. Still my all-time favorite series, by the way. Percy Jackson, then I moved on to like some random book about dragons. I think it was like World of Fire or something. And then I finally moved on to stuff like The Witcher, which is like more hardcore Percy Jackson basically. And the thing that was in common with all of these books was the fact that in some way or other it talked about how people lived in the ancient world, in antiquity. Percy Jackson, it was about the Greek gods. And The Witcher, it was more like medieval stuff. And the reason I read these books, the reason I love these books so much, I now realize, is that I wanted to connect with the main character. In all of these books, the main character either had special powers or was doing something really important. Actually, in all of these books, the main character had a really important quest. And I wanted to see myself in the main character. I wanted to feel like I also had a main quest. I also had a real reason for being here. Because nobody wants to feel like they don't have anything worthwhile to contribute to the world. And I think that led to a lot of thoughts about like almost wanting the role of the hero. And all of these heroes, they usually had like special powers, right? Like Percy Jackson, he was a demigod, he could control water, right? The Witcher, he was like this mutant that had like insane agility and strength. And I think the real reason that I wanted to have these powers is because I thought I needed them to be this role of the hero, to be important in this world. I used to dream when I was like 7 years old that like, oh, maybe my parents aren't actually my real parents. Maybe I'm also a demigod that has like secret powers. And like, I just wanted to feel like I could do something in this world. And after those books about Percy Jackson, I started getting into more like real history, real media from the ancient world. I got into reading stuff like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which was like the most authentic source of like how people thought back then. It's like the most authentic source for that. And I started getting into more media. I watched movies like Spartans, like Troy. And basically, I researched stuff about how they lived, about like the Spartans lived. I was like, oh shit, I want to live like a Spartan, like sleep on the floor, hell yeah, like run at 3 a.m., hell yeah, David Goggins, hell yeah. And I think all of that once again stemmed from this inability to decide my place in this world. What did I really hope to contribute to those around me? How did I hope to live my life? Because what all of these ancient people had in common is that they had a greater purpose. All of the Spartans, all of the Marcus Aureliuses, the Roman emperors, they all did what they did. They did great deeds, great things, because they had a reason. Their reason was, well, conquest, glory, valor, and protecting their family and loved ones. All of these people had a purpose that was greater than themselves, and to like younger me, this purpose was like insane. It was so motivating because like going to war with your brothers to protect like your loved ones, to conquest for glory, you know, like that was just insane to younger me. So I was thinking like, oh, my life is so boring, why couldn't I go out on conquest and like fight people, you know? And obviously I was kind of stupid back then. I'm still kind of stupid, but it was like a very highly idealized version of the world they lived in, because like 1,000 years ago, bro, those guys had like 20-year life expectancy. Their lives kind of sucked. They didn't have Medicare, they didn't have healthcare, like they got a scratch, they probably died. There's like a 50% chance you die. So yeah, their life sucked, but they had a purpose. And honestly, I feel like even if they died at 20, I feel like most people back then actually lived more fulfilled lives, more happier lives than we do right now. Because right now the epidemic isn't like COVID or something. The epidemic is a lack of purpose. My cat's here. So I began thinking, maybe what we need is to adopt some of the good parts of the culture, the ancient culture back then, into our modern culture. Maybe that's what we're actually missing. And some people are gonna say that that's unrealistic, too idealistic. That was a bar. And yes, I agree. We can't just live like a modern Spartan would right now, right? That's impossible. But that doesn't mean we can't adopt some of the really good parts, the valuable parts of their culture to our culture. And after I thought about that, I really realized that the answer was simple. The answer to a purpose was simple when looking at all of these ancient cultures, because they all lived for the same thing. They lived to serve others. They lived with alignment with nature, and they lived as if that was the only life they had, and they tried to give everything they had to those around them. Now that might sound cringe, but that's truly what I believe is a worthwhile purpose. You're not going to remember all of the things you did for yourself on your deathbed. Well, actually you might, but no one else will. No one else will remember all of the selfish things you did. But they will remember on your deathbed and long after you're gone, the things you did to serve others. They will remember the man or woman who lived in alignment with nature, who lived as if he or she was an ancient warrior in modern day, with those values, with those cultural aspects that we should adopt today. Maybe the true meaning of life is to face death not being afraid. To face death knowing that you made the world a better place, not a worse place. To understand that even while you're gone, the deeds you did in your life will echo through eternity. I think that was a gladiator quote. I'm not sure. And right now, I think the only way to really fulfill this true potential that everybody has inside of them is to live a little more like a natural human would. I'm not saying go quit your job and don't use any technology at all, but maybe using a little less technology and going outside a little more, that could actually facilitate a bigger change in the future. And to answer the starting question, what would you do if you could only improve one aspect of your life for the rest of your life? For me right now, this is my belief, and it could probably change. It will change because I'm only 16. I think the only thing you should really focus on is building as strong of a connection with nature, as strong of a connection with the natural way of life as you can. Because that is the thing that really matters, I think. It's the thing that all other things stem from. If you have this strong connection with yourself, with nature, if, like Marcus Aurelius says, if you can retreat into your own mind, and that's like the happiest and safest place you can go, that is something truly beautiful. So yeah, I'm only 16. Maybe I'm just super naive about everything. Maybe life's gonna punch me in the face like 2 years from now. It probably will. But yeah, that's my current view on the purpose of life. Live it for others, because that's the thing that will make you the happiest and feel like a human. Because if you don't feel like a human right now, it's probably because you're just living for yourself. You're indulging in technology, indulging in, I don't know, like drugs or something. And yeah, that's you feel bad because that's not how you're supposed to live. Feeling bad is just your mind, nature telling you that you're doing something wrong. So bro, just start trying to do it a little more right, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, and I think that's everything I wanted to say. I hope it was comprehensible. If you found any sort of value from this video, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be talking more about how you can actually connect with nature, like the step-by-step processes for how to do that and live a better life. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and join the Discord below. Thank you. Go do some push-ups.